Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to La Le. Speaking of Truth is the song. It's the orchestrated version, an update to the original version of Speaking of Truth. And I'm intrigued because when people actually put orchestra music, winds and sounds and the bass sound and all of that from, let's say, a poppy tune, I'm always intrigued. And I haven't seen and I haven't heard, Speaking of Truth, the original. But I know there's two different types, and that's what intrigued me about reacting to this. I have reacted to this particular artist before, and I called it sensational. I wonder what she's going to do now, but I think she's got the most distinctive voice, real, almost iconic in a way. But let's give you a little bit of bio about herself. Just a brief synopsis again for all the new people who have been introduced to her music because of this channel. She is mononymously known as La Le. It's an Iranian-Swedish singer, songwriter, recorder, producer, guitarist, pianist, actress and recording company manager. Following a short acting career, she entered the music industry in 2005 with a self-titled debut album which peaked at #1 in Sweden and went on to become the country's highest selling album of the year. Now, she has done so well in her home country, and outside it's like, whom is she? But she's growing and growing and growing. It's almost like so many people are looking for new artists and seeking out new talent now. They want freshness, which is wonderful because that's what my channel's all about. So don't forget to press those buttony things and subscribe. But let's get into what she's been doing more recently. And this intrigued me. While living in the US, she wrote, recorded and produced a new album called Crystalla with 10 songs, which I'm going to feature a lot of reactions to over the coming months, especially in 2023. There was 10 songs in that album, 5 of which were in Swedish. In late 2016, she toured Sweden, performing indoor arenas, including selling out the Eckerson Globe Arena, her show called A Symphony Orchestra. And I thought that's intriguing because I want to look at this particular track and react to it, and that's what she did way back. So I'm going to tie the two in one. I'm going to go over the Crystalla album. I'm going to react to more in 2023. And I'm going to give you an end of 2022 reaction to this particular song. I think it'll be pretty special because she is extraordinary as an artist, a lyricist, and just in her unique look. So take it away, La Le, with Speaking of Truth.
Soft like trees and water, shaped to suit and move. After mood and weather, in the waves you will float. I'm looking after ground. I'm looking for a new way of living. This can't be it, you shake the ground. Mountains move. I'm made to move after your flood. So moved by you. You take it back. I'm so dried out in this desert. Let me know, I wanna be with you. Speaking of love, speaking of truth. Speaking of truth. Speaking of truth. Speaking of truth. You are soft like stone and water. You are shaped to suit and Are you corners round and lovely while you're running down the lake? My tears move. I make to move after your flood. So moved by you. You take it back. I'm so dried out in this desert. Let me know, I wanna be with you. Speaking of floods, speaking of truth, speaking of truth. Speaking of truth.
I have to say that's my first time listening to this. In such a long time I haven't heard such an orchestrated version of a song that's just so compelling in the music itself. And of course she looks as beautiful as ever, but I loved it. I just have to say I loved it. It is Layla's reissuing of this earlier release that was released in Sweden some time ago, and that's because it's in response to the fans wanting more, and that latest rendition of Speaking Truth gave great satisfaction to her fans. Now it was rebranded from the original, as we've heard, the orchestrated version, and has the same building crescendos and emotive outbursts as the original, but hovering over a more dark and mysterious sound. That's what my research says. While her latest version is slower, as we've heard, it might not have the uplifting feeling of the original beat, but its reworking which blankets the track with its grandeur of strings and woodwind and gives the single a more heavy and deeply cutting edge. And I have to say that was what the synopsis of my research said about this rebranding of this song, and I have to agree, it's incredible. It really, really is. Let's get into the lyrics now and not waste any more time. I loved it. I just loved the sound of it and her voice and everything. I'm so crazy about this artist. I'm always crazy about the artists I bring onto my channel because I think they're all of them on my channel uniquely unique. The lyrics, first one: soft like trees and water, shaped to suit and mood, after mood and weather, in the waves you will float. So straight away she's on a journey, as we saw in the video, and it's almost because we've seen the video and you've seen the ending and the guy disappears. Is it a dream that we're actually witnessing, and these are lyrics to the dream? We shall see, because it says soft like trees, shaped to suit and mood. So she's in a soft, moody, mellow, breezy kind of mood, and she's on her way to meet her beloved. Verse 2: I'm looking after ground, I'm looking for a new way of leaving this can be if you shake the ground. And it continues: I'm made to move after your flood. I'm made to move after your flood, so move by you. You take it back. So it's obviously there's been an upset because she's looking for a new way. And in other words, if you shake the ground, what she's saying to the other person is, if you make things difficult for me, I won't be able to find a new way in life away from you, away from what I still feel about you. I'm still shaky. I'm still feeling whispery when I close my eyes and think of you. And in waves you will float, she said in verse 1, because her mood swings will be back to thinking about you and how it was, and back to reality where she needs to find a new way. And you take it back. In other words, she's wishing for all the words and the love and the falseness to go back to him, because it continues. I'm so dried out in this desert. So she's starved of love and emotion at the moment. Let me know, I want to be with you. Speaking of floods, speaking of truth. Usually when they say speaking of floods, it's because of tears. All those shed tears. But as we said, she's no more tears left because it's a desert now. And speaking of truth, she just wants the truth. She's heard nothing but upsets and obviously lies that's made her, and hurtful words that's made her, fill valleys full of tears. But at the same time, the symbolism is now a dry desert. She's no more. As she says, I'm so dried out. She continues, you're soft like stone and water. You are shaped to suit and make. Are you calling us around and lovely while you're running down the lake? In other words, are you the person that makes up stories? Are you the person that is just saying, who had a relationship with me, said all these things, but like a person on a lake sailing away, you're still on your journey looking for that person, but you've left me behind thinking I was the person. And you shaped me with your words, and you said things to me that made me believe that. So it continues, I'm made to move after your flood. So moved by you, you take it back. And when she talks to the flood, she means I was made to move on with my life. After you flooded me with all these emotions and all these words and all these feelings, and I was moved by you. I trusted you. I believed you. So take it back. Take all back of those false words and go away from me. And she continues, and so dried out in the desert, let me know, I want to be with you. Speaking of floods, speaking of truth. So her heart says, speaking of truth. And speaking of truth is a song about her heart telling her she still wants him. Even though he's hurt her, even though she's cried out, even though she's filled the valleys full of tears, and now she's dried out, she can't cry anymore because of the hurt. She still wants him back. Karma has a funny way in some relationships of bringing you right back to where you want to begin, at the start, with the same person. That can happen, but in most cases it doesn't, and that's reality. Because she finishes speaking the truth and repeats that, take it, love, take it, what you want, take it. So we see her embracing in the video, holding the guy, saying, take my love. She's imagining all of it. She's gone out, she's got drunk, she's cleared her head, she's listened to music, but she imagines she's still in the embrace of her beloved. Just take my love, take it for what it is, accept it and cherish it. And then she opens her eyes and realizes, woof, it's a mirage. She's still in the desert. She's all dried out, which happens to an awful lot of people in that situation. So whatever situation you're in, I hope it's a happy one. Thank you for listening. Absolute brilliant analysis of this Speaking of Truth, don't you think? If so, don't forget to press the buttony things and like and subscribe. She shall be back for 2023, don't worry. This is the Swedish artist. I am crazy about her voice, crazy about her music, and I'm just looking forward to reacting to her again. Until then, happy Christmas, New Year to all of you. Take care.